We live in this kind of power structure. It flows through us. A handful of people control the entire country, control all the wealth and all the land. You know, like who actually owns England? Not many people. It's about class, which no one wants to talk about. It's taboo to talk about it. Steve Burden, artist, born in Greenwich, grew up in Deptford and lived on the Peeps estate, which is a kind of classic high-rise council estate in Deptford. When the estate was built, it was built in the kind of post-war modernist style. It was centred around a kind of utopian vision for how you house the masses. A lot of it does hark back to people like Corbusier and his vision for how people should be housed. The problem with utopias is one person designs them and the rest of us have to live in them.
Again, we're on Peep's estate. This is a sort of view that many tenants and visitors see when they're walking through the estate. The further inland you get, the worse it becomes.
I've got very negative memories of living there. You know, when you're a kid, these towers were totally out of proportion. Huge 24-storey lumps of concrete, rectilinear. They were brutal. They had kind of subterranean car parks. There'd always be a car alight or, you know, something had been lobbed out the windows. So you can see, even now, these towers are still the tallest things in this area. So we lived in flat 3 on the first floor. Yeah, with the red plant pots in the window. I know that, you know, not everyone has these experiences. You know, my godmother still lives on the estate. She's happy as Larry, you know, she would never move. Whereas I think my emotional response is that it was quite a dark, harrowing place.
And you can't see down the corridors very well at all. It's a very dismal outlook.
One of the omnipresent memories that I've got was the shadow that kind of runs through a lot of the story, and is kind of synonymous with a lot of memories and paintings, I guess. So early on, the Peeps estate was the subject in no uncertain terms, starting kind of with very kind of autobiographical kind of experiences. I look at the history, I look at myth, I look at people like Ballard, I look at the architectural styles, and that gets played back in the paint. I was doing something that was quite unusual for the area where I was from. The primary school that I went to was a bit weird as well, because I mean, that's called St Joseph's. It was run by the Sisters of Mercy. You've got these nuns in black, kind of like calling the shots. Sister Ursula had just come back from a 4-year sabbatical in the Vatican. She selected 7 kids to go out to the Vatican to meet the Pope. So we did kind of Angels and Demons before it was popular, because that was probably my first foray into the arts. So when you go to St Peter's and you look at the kind of the Bernini sculptures and you look at the Michelangelos and the Da Vinci's, you go to the Sistine Chapel and you can't help but be blown away by that. They really resonate. I guess they kind of imprinted themselves on me, and these kind of motifs, these icons, they do actually weave their way into my work. Sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously. The kids that I grew up with and, you know, none of them went to university. It wasn't really thought about. What I was doing was quite unusual and actually a little bit abnormal, because working class families, children don't tend to take art as a subject. I kind of got ridiculed for my accent by a few people because, you know, I got a London accent, and the demographic of certainly of my calls was very upper middle class. And then go into a kind of a belt and braces, grassroots pub. So I like that contrast, dealing with blokes who are kind of like the salt of the earth, and then dealing with kind of people that are pretending to be intellectual. I kind of quite like the tension between that. It just used to fan the flames and just give me more desire and passion and ambition to win. There was a lot of pride in what I was kind of doing and what I was achieving. And obviously when they found out I kind of graduated at the top of the class with a first class honours degree, obviously I was the toast of the pub. Because again, that was a win against the bourgeoisie, a resistance against that kind of domination, which was present then and is present now and is obviously present in the arts today. I think percentage-wise, you know, you're looking at 12% of the creative industries are working class, whereas actually when you look at the working population and people that profess to be working class, supposedly it's half of the working population. You know, there's a wealth of talent that's kind of going unnoticed. I think there's been a massive snobbishness and kind of effetism around who the arts are for. It's like working class or people from the lower classes aren't welcome, you know, haven't got a ticket to the game. The kind of the class divide is something that really kind of gets my goat. You know, class is still there, whether you like it or not. You know, it's not going to go away, and that's become a kind of a big pillar in my practice. Is this the tension between the kind of the suppressed, the oppressed classes, and these kind of wealthy elite. The work that I want to do is very authentic, and it's loaded with messaging, and I want to do it justice. I want to do that justice. It's actually got harder because I'm probably overthinking the paintings. Whereas initially I was kind of just rolling and it was very intuitive and I was just painting stuff. I think now I'm becoming a little bit overburdened, excuse the pun, but I think I'm becoming overburdened with the volume and the weight of the subject. A lot of things artists struggle with is why they're actually doing what they're doing. Why are they making that, or why are they painting that? And I think now I'm kind of starting to think about, you know, what it means to be working class. Yeah, there is this kind of desire and yearning to find where you fit in. I think arts is one of the few industries where you can actually have an opinion. I think that's a good thing. And I think we need more of it.
Living on Peep's estate?
Lovely.
Is there anything you don't like about it?
No, nothing whatever.